All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a global phenomenon that, I kid you not, started with one of the wildest questions I have ever heard in storytelling.
So get this. When the director of the anime, Daisuke Suzuki, first heard the pitch, this was his gut reaction. Are you serious? And let's be honest, that's probably what you're thinking right now too.
Because in the world of Rooster Fighter, that's literally the entire premise. Humanity's last hope is a chicken. One single rooster standing between us and total annihilation. Okay, so how on earth does this work? Let's get into it.
So the story drops us into a world that is just teetering on the brink of collapse. Humanity is being hammered by these giant, monstrous beings that just seem to appear out of thin air.
Okay, so these enemies are called Keiji, and here's the twist. They aren't aliens, they're not ancient demons. No, they are us. They're what happens when our very human anxieties, work stress, loneliness, social media pressure, get so bad that our hearts literally mutate. We become the very monsters that embody those fears.
And right there, that's the core of the whole thing. Just when humanity is about to give up, this lone rooster named Keiji appears to fight back. Think about that for a second. It's one small animal standing up against these massive, overwhelming monsters born from our own failings. It's the little guy against the literal demons of the modern age. So who is this feathered hero? I mean, he's clearly not just any chicken. To really get what this world is all about, we gotta meet the main players.
Our hero is Keiji. He's a wandering rooster on a quest for vengeance. He calls himself a migratory bird, which is just perfect. He's like a classic hard-boiled hero, a ronin from an old samurai movie. He's got one mission: hunt down the white demon, the monster that killed his sister. He's got a strict code, and he answers to no one.
But of course, Keiji isn't totally alone. He's got this little crew that forms around him. There's Pyoko, an innocent chick who just idolizes his chivalrous spirit. Then there's Elizabeth, a powerful hen who, get this, trained herself to generate 10 million volts of electricity, partly because she has a grudge against Keiji from a past romance. It's amazing. You've got your classic action trio right there: the tough leader, the loyal sidekick, and the complicated rival. So think about it. You've got this super serious, hard-boiled revenge story, but the hero is a rooster. And while the story plays it completely straight, the official genre classification is where you see its true genius. The official genres are action, comedy, and parody. And man, it nails all three. You get these huge, city-destroying action scenes, but you're also laughing because, well, it's a rooster doing it. And the whole time, it's cleverly poking fun at all the classic story tropes we grew up with.
And that's not an accident. The scriptwriter, Hiroshi Seko, flat out said it has the soul of old movies like Mad Max, Lethal Weapon, even Blade Runner. So when you're watching it, you can feel that 80s action and sci-fi DNA running through the whole thing.
And that's the key, right? This is so much more than just a spoof. The executive producer, Jason DeMarco, calls it an intellectual and loving deconstruction of classic shonen manga. It's not just making fun of the genre, it's celebrating it. It takes all those epic elements we love, the intense training arcs, the bitter rivalries, the world-ending stakes, and asks, what happens if you apply all that, with 100% seriousness, to a rooster? And you know what? This wild mix totally worked. It found a massive audience. But here's the craziest part of the story. It blew up overseas first. We're talking a huge phenomenon, especially in Latin America, before it even aired in Japan. How does that even happen? Well, it started with the manga. It became this certified international bestseller, published in over 50 countries. It was one of those rare word-of-mouth hits that just crossed borders like it was nothing. So then, when the anime finally dropped, boom, it shot straight to #1 on the streaming charts in places like Mexico, Peru, and Venezuela. The response was just instant and incredibly passionate. So you have to ask, why there? What was it about this story that connected so deeply? Well, the answer is all about culture. In Latin America, roosters aren't just farm animals. They're a huge cultural symbol of bravery, of fighting spirit, of masculinity. They're seen as warriors. And as Jason DeMarco points out, that cultural context was everything. The idea of revering roosters as brave warriors just resonates perfectly with the story. So for a lot of people watching, a rooster hero wasn't just a joke. It felt genuinely heroic. It made sense.
But here's the thing. It's not just a cultural phenomenon. Behind all the action and the absurdity, there's a surprising amount of depth. This story is actually asking some pretty big questions. Yeah, it's really tackling some huge universal themes. You've got perseverance against impossible odds, for sure. It digs into the nature of justice versus revenge. It's about finding hope in a world that feels hopeless. And ultimately, it's about what it even means to be a hero, no matter your size or, your species.
And that's really what it all boils down to. By making the hero a rooster, the story asks us to find the hero in the most unlikely of places. It strips heroism down to its bare essence. It's saying it has nothing to do with how big you are or how powerful you are. It's about courage. It's about conviction.
So, what does it truly mean to be a hero? Rooster Fighter has a pretty amazing answer. It suggests it has nothing to do with who you are, but everything to do with what you do when all hope seems lost.